arousing or awareness, and then there's dispersing, or the flow card. I'm getting the immediate message, just trust where you're going. Just trust where you're going. Even though the path is not clear, if the path is not clear, just trust it anyway. I think wherever it is that you're going, whatever it is that you're building on, I'm sensing like a project. It's going to take you to faraway places. So it's very far from meaning that you probably live in like a small town. I just saw 133. 33 came out twice, so you could be life path 3, for example. But whatever project it is, maybe you're from a small town, and that project, that path is going to take you to other countries, for example. Getting mostly like fire countries, so think like China, Belgium, Dubai, for example. So fire-based countries. I just saw 202. I do sense a lot of fire energy right now. Can you see that traveling? I think it's just gonna make you happy. It's gonna make you happy because we have happiness, and this is the abundance card. This is the happiness card. I'm also getting that you're aware of what works for you and what doesn't work. So maybe you've tried to fit in the mold. For example, what society wants. For example, get a corporate job, get a 9 to 5. You tried doing that. You tried adapting to that. Hence adaptation. So you're very good at adapting. I just saw 255. You're very good at adapting, but you're aware of how your body responds. So maybe you've had health issues crop up in certain environments. Maybe it's not really a high stress environment, but that's how you're able to gauge what is right for you and what's not right for you. So even though the path is not clear, it's this card. This is the flow card. Just saw 330. I think you're sort of just trusting the path, which is a good thing. Keep doing that. If something doesn't feel right, abandon it. Have like a safety net in place, but abandon it and go for what feels right. Even though it may defy logic. That's what I'm strongly getting. It does defy logic. For example, you don't want to leave a situation, but the logic tells you to stay, but they end up leaving because you know that's good for you because of the awareness card. I'm seeing like a cruise. Just saw 422 when I said that. So maybe you feel called to go near water. So I think like the beach, the cruise, maybe dolphin watching, whale watching of some kind. If you feel called to do that, just do it. But maybe the water, a place of water, might help calm you a bit more. I think you're just called to move a lot, and then once you stop moving, you'll realize the pieces just somehow fit together. Somehow things just work out. That's what I'm getting. Maybe right now you don't feel the happiness or the abundance, but because you haven't started moving it, you know what's working and what's not working. But it calls for you to take the action, and that'll lead you to the happiness and the abundance card. But right now that's not the case. So maybe you're still stuck in that place where you know it's not right for you, and maybe your body is reacting negatively to it. It could come up as health issues, for example. It could be headaches, it could be dizziness, for example. It could also be physically you'll notice that. For example, you've been you're drinking enough water, you're eating well, you're getting enough sleep, you're getting 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours sleep, but then somehow you're still lethargic, you're still always tired, and you know you've been eating vitamins, for example, but it's things like that. You'll just end up noticing there's something wrong. But once you stop moving and trusting, literally trusting the path, moving the direction that you're called towards, somehow things will just somehow work out. It will just work out magically. Just got one final message, and I might draw some dice. Final advice. Okay, what's this? Prosperity. Can you say that's the final message? If you start moving, if you start following what your gut is telling you, so you might be a really logical person, so I'm thinking, what signs are logical? I was like Capricorn's quite logical, but you might be very logical. That's why you'll stay in places where your mind is telling you, wait, this is right by, in terms of the mind. But for example, you feel called to go near a body of water, you might feel called to take a cruise or a boat, and you're not doing that, it could block the happiness and the success. I just saw 722. The prospering is the end message. There's progress and visibility, meaning the project you're working on could be photography, it could be social media, it could be just vlogging or doing YouTube. That once you start doing that and you don't think much of it, but then somehow people will notice that, because that's what you're meant to do. If it's something that you're meant to do, naturally things will just work out. Whereas, for example, someone else might try to do the thing that you want to do. I'm getting photography, I'm getting YouTube, for example, and it's not saying it won't work for them, it's just it might take more effort than it is for you, because you're meant to do that. Everyone here on earth is put here to do something, but it's up to the person, just for 8 it's up to the person to listen to that. And there's some people end up unfulfilled because they haven't listened to that, but you're gonna listen. It's gonna lead you to happiness and abundance, literally prosperity, progress, and then visibility. I'm gonna draw some dice to see what sign you may be. Okay, so we got Libra. Oh my god. Oh, you could be air sign. Okay, that's not very clear. Can we get? That's not very clear. Okay, so yeah, we got Capricorn. That one didn't land very well. And we got Scorpio. Okay, it is Virgo. Hold on. Not me getting confused. I think this is Virgo. This is Virgo, right? Or is it Scorpio? Oh shit, I always get confused. I think this is Virgo. That is Virgo. That makes sense. Earth signs tend to be really logical. I'm guessing that's Virgo. Or this Scorpio. It could be Scorpio or Virgo. I always get confused. But there you have it. I'll put in the description once I double check it. In terms of numbers, can we get, or maybe like a sign, like a life path? Okay, so it could be 8. So 8, it could be August born, life path 8. Okay, or maybe in 8 months, you'll be in a completely different place. So you would have started moving and you'll start to see